Though we all hated to see her go, Pauley Perrette had her reasons for leaving NCIS. Turns out, a lot of other actors did too. LL Cool J was part of the Los Angeles version, and he had a few complaints about the job. Lo and behold, Perrette felt the same. In this video, we'll be telling you about the complaint she shares with him and what life was like on set. Let's go! First off, it's about the scripts. Being an actor is hard work, you guys. It's not as simple as it seems. And a big part of that is about memorizing your lines. Sure, it's the most basic of steps in a job like this, but there's always a limit to how much you can retain. Looks like both Pauley and LL felt similar about the scripts on NCIS. The actress revealed in a podcast back in 2020 that they were too long and very difficult to memorize, to a point where it was constant work, even on holiday. The rapper shared these sentiments because he has also commented on the same thing, even though she was on the flagship show and he's on the LA version. It looks like this is a trend throughout the police procedural family. Keep in mind, the role of Sam Hanna was a first for LL Cool J. Yes, he's known for his sitcom In the House and has impeccable comic timing, which, might we add, definitely helps on a show like this. But first and foremost, this is a crime show, a different ballpark altogether, and his first ever crime stint in showbiz. These comments have resurfaced because fans suspect something's up with Sam Hanna. He hasn't appeared in any episodes as of late, and they're wondering if LL Cool J is leaving the show. It's a scary thought, but it makes sense. This is how they phase characters out before giving them an exit. Coming up, Pauley's thoughts on the matter. She sat down with Kirsten Vanksness back in 2020 on her podcast, Kirsten's Agenda. And you know that if it's a podcast, things are about to get real. Usually, they are always with someone like Perrette. Girl's gonna speak her truth, no matter what. That's where the comparison came about. It started with the host asking her when she knew she was gonna retire. She answered by saying that she had absolutely retired while she was filming Broke, which came out in 2020 only. It was a weird time for her because she went from doing the same job for 16 years to not doing anything at all. The breaks in the middle were very strange for her too. Not gonna lie, the grind of network television sounds insane to keep up with. The actress definitely felt like it was a burden to bear. She talked about how people like her would work in hour-long dramas for years on end, only to get 2 months in the middle of each year as a hiatus. She even called it her little hiatus thing, which just sounds like a very, very short break. Too short to even be called one. It affected her so much even after she left NCIS. She recalled that after her last day of work, she counted in her head how many days she had left to relax before it started again. Then, of course, she realized that she didn't need to go back at all. That in itself was a little weird for her too. You can't blame her. It was like muscle memory. Up next, the consequences of long scripts. Having to squeeze in so many pages of text can suck the fun out of anything. Let's be honest, not everyone's memory can keep up with something like Perrette and LL Cool J have described. Now, the retired actress went on to talk about how these lengthy scripts took the love of reading right out of her. It's pretty sad to hear, but now that she has the time to read on her terms, we're sure she's catching back up with the habit. Since she had to train her brain for this, it made reading anything else really hard because she'd just instinctively start memorizing that too. Reading's all about being in the moment and connecting with the words, but that experience was taken away from her. And now her conversation with LL Cool J. The actress also had an anecdote from her days on set. She went to visit the rapper turned actor on set on his first or second day, and the two of them had a little bonding moment over the lengthy scripts. Since both of them are avid readers, they shared the same problems when it came to actually reading a book since they started the job. LL Cool J said that it was really hard for him to come in and try to make 12 pages of scientific dialogue comedic. Just reading that made him kind of get tired of the whole process altogether, and it changed his relationship with his favorite hobby too. Of course, Pauley could relate. She commented that the duo had a lot of homework to do, and her brain just changed while she wasn't at NCIS. Staring at a bunch of pages for too long when you're not enjoying it can get super tiring, folks. Now, let's look at how NCIS fans no longer think Abby is the most annoying character. First, she wasn't always annoying. It's a highly contested matter, folks. Some people loved Abby until the end, while others weren't sure about that. She was an OG, no doubt about that. Come on, she was in the JAG backdoor backdoor pilot back in 2003. Still, a lot of fans think that she lost her charm after a while. She was pretty lovable at first, but as time went on, she became too obnoxious for some people's liking. A user on Reddit said that during rewatchables, they found themselves fast-forwarding all the scenes she was in. They went on to say that the character was too childish and eerily similar to the actress they'd grown to dislike. Oh well, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Another fan said that she's quirky, she's cool, and that's all fine and dandy, but there didn't seem to be any personal growth, you know? They didn't get to connect with her that much because she wasn't given as many emotionally deep scenes as the rest of the cast, which is a fair point. People started thinking this once her time on the show was coming to a close. But there's a new sheriff in town, and it looks like he gets much more flack from fans than Abby ever did. Up next, Nick Torres takes the mantle. The show is very fan-driven. What's a series without its audience, right? Well, Express ran a poll about who the most popular character is, and Wilmer Valderrama's Nick Torres got the least number of votes, which makes it pretty clear most of the fan base does not like him. He joined the team in 2016, so it's been a few years, and we're all familiar with him. One user wrote that the honor of the most annoying character goes to him. This is because they think he's arrogant and too full of himself, can never take an order as he should, and whines about every assignment. Ouch! They went on to say that if the series was true to life, Nick should have been fired long ago. They were pretty serious about this actually. No other character has irritated them as much as him. They also thought that Abby was a little iffy, but she grew on them. With Nick Torres, they don't see that as a possibility. Again, double ouch! Last but not least, some more fan opinions. While some feel super strongly about him, others are a little indifferent. Another Reddit user said that they don't hate him, but he's probably their least favorite on the team. To them, he just feels like a replacement for Tony DiNozzo. Almost too much. Sure, Bishop replaced Ziva, but the two of them were completely different in terms of personality. With Nick, it feels like he's trying too hard to be exactly like Tony. That wouldn't sit right with someone whose favorite character is DiNozzo, so it makes sense. There are many more on the list. Apparently, people disliked Jamie Lee Curtis's role too. Don't get us wrong, she's a stellar actor, but who she played was the problem. A fan thought that Samantha Ryan was in the way all the time. Another chimed in by saying that they love Curtis, but hate Samantha. Ryan started a relationship with Gibbs, and folks thought they had zero chemistry. Every episode she was in had people second-guessing if she was a double agent. Rena Sofer's Margaret Allison also doesn't have a good rep in the fandom. Some thought that the sexual tension between her and Gibbs was too forced, and many people skipped the episodes she was in. A lot have labeled her to be the worst and absolutely insufferable. Imagine being on the show for a very short time and still being hated. Well, that's all for this video, folks. What do you think of Pauley and LL Cool J sharing the same complaint on NCIS? Let us know in the comments down below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.